Good to see and talk to you guys again. Pray all is well with you, and that your week is being blessed and going well. If not, as always, just wanted to stop by and just give you a word of encouragement today. This week, I want to talk to you guys about something we all deal with and we all face, and it's disappointment or being disappointed. I have been ministering to, counseling so many people over the years, and just even in the current past couple of weeks, a lot about disappointment and being disappointed in people, places, and things. And I just want to share, some thoughts about that with you, if you don't mind, and just hopefully help you get a broader perspective on the things that are coming into our lives that we can control and the things that are coming into our lives that are inevitable. And we just have to find a better way of processing disappointment. I want to read to you the definition of disappointment. It says, being disappointed of a person, sad or displeased because someone or something has failed to fulfill one's hopes or expectations. I know we all can relate to this subject because at one time in our life, if not several times in our lives, we have found ourselves in a situation where we feel discouraged or disappointed, just disenchanted with something the way it went down. And I just want to give you this thought. Some years ago, when I was just going through a lot of different situations, and it just felt like everyone around me was letting me down. And no matter how I tried to rely on them or rely on their strength for a situation, I kept coming up empty. I kept coming up disappointed. And I remember going before the Lord and asking him, about this because honestly, it was just starting to get on my nerve. Just how I'm there for you or I'm not there for you. I don't play in, the middle ground or anything. Either I'm for you, not that I'm incapable of having a bad day, because that would be an absolute lie because everyone is. And I was talking to my Bible study group last week about putting your trust and your confidence in God and not in man. Psalms 118:8 talks about that. And that's what the word instructs us to do, to put our confidence and our trust in God, not in people, places, or things. So here I was in this situation, and I'm just having a pity party of pity parties with God and just talking to him. And I'm like, I just don't understand. And I'm always there for people. And, and I'm always lending support. And it just seems like, when I'm, in my particular situation or something's going on, I feel like I'm always alone and blah, 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 blah. So, okay. So this was God's response to me. And how many of you know that sometimes we can come to God and all of our emotions and all of our sorrow and just be just going in, and then God just gets quiet for a second, almost like he's waiting for you to finish talking, catch your breath, because he wants to make sure that you're about to hear what he's about to say to you. The response that I got from God in this particular situation was life-changing, to say the least, and I pray it brings the same type of change to you. God's response to me about being so disappointed in these individuals and the situation as a totality, God's response was this: the only way you can be disappointed in a person, place, or thing is if you have invalid expectations. I was like, wait, oh my God, did God just hit me once again with that cast iron skillet right across the face and just really pause me and make me see that my disappointment really wasn't about the other person. It was about me, and it was about the way I was approaching things. So disappointment, being disappointed in people is something that's going to reflect back on you. That may sound wrong to some of you, but it's the truth anyhow. And it might be tight, as they say, but it really is right. Because if you have invalid expectations of the person or that situation, you will always be disappointed. Invalid expectations. Let's talk about that just for a couple minutes. Invalid expectations. Let me use this example. You know how you think people are going to respond to a situation like you? Well, here's the thing. I'm an individual, you're an individual. So if someone isn't responding in that situation like you, it's because you're individuals. There's not two of you walking around. You may find people that have similarities to you, but no two people are identical, and their responses aren't going to be identical. And a lot of times, we really put weight on people to respond like we think, I'm going to say that again, like we think we would respond to the situation. And the one thing I love about God is he's going to bring the situation back to you, not the other person. He's going to deal with the issues that are in you that are causing you to view the situation wrong. And he's going to try to enlighten you that you'll reflect on it from a better standpoint, from a better perspective. And so when you have invalid expectations or you're expecting somebody to respond like you would, that is error, because no one is thinking about it like you. And it's just like in ministry, no one is ever going to be as inspired or as passionate about the things that God speaks to you to do as you are, because he gave it to you to do. So same thing, invalid expectations, expecting people, one, to respond like you, or expecting something from someone that they are incapable of giving. We should not be reliant on someone to make us whole. We should be working on allowing God to do that. You know, when you're in a relationship, one half of a person plus another half of a person does not equal totality for both of the people. The math won't even add up right for you. You know, let God make you whole. Have valid expectations, even of your process. The only way you can be disappointed in your own process is if you have invalid expectations of that process. We have to be so careful to really not judge the situation, not judge the person, because we might be requiring something of them that they are incapable of giving. That is why you need to put your trust and your confidence in God, because he is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. And God is not going to lie to you. He may not do things the way you want him to or you think he should, but he is not going to ambush you with something, and he always has your best at the heart of the matter. He is always working to prosper you, to expand you, to improve upon that which is there, because God sees us finished, and he's not looking at, I say, the moment. You know, we get caught in moments a lot of times. We judge people in their moment or according to what's happening in their life. And that is truly invalid expectations. That is just looking at 1 second or minute of a person's life and just judging their whole life according to it. And you know, the Bible tells us all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. I'm not giving anybody a get out of jail free card for anything that they're doing wrong, because yeah, God is going to judge it and you're going to face the consequences, but thank God for grace and mercy. You know, but here's the thing. Work on having valid expectations of people. Stop expecting them to respond in a situation like you would. They have not been through your process. They may not even have your heart concerning the situation. You know, I talk to people in my ministry a lot about, it's not so much what we say, it's what we do. And you cannot be in ministry for thank yous, or you will truly be disappointed the majority of the time. Every once in a while, somebody might shock you and, actually come back and tell you thank you. Or sometimes you might have an influx of it, but don't do it for the thank yous. Do it to bring glory unto God. Only what you do for Christ is going to last. Do things to bring glory and honor to God, and then you won't find yourself yearning or needing those responses. You won't find yourself dealing with invalid expectations. You won't find yourself in situations where you're so disappointed you feel like you can't get up, you can't move forward, you can't do anything because you expected this to go one way or another way instead of having valid expectations. I heard it jokingly said, but Maya Angelou said, if someone tells you something about them, or if they tell you they're this way or they're that way, believe them, because we think sometimes we can change people. Invalid expectations. We think we can make them or bend them into responding to a situation like we want them to. That is an invalid expectation if you've never seen one. And it's going to end in disappointment, you being disappointed in that person, place, or thing. So why not try a new approach and have valid expectations? I'm not saying be cynical. I'm not saying just expect everybody to be wrong, because everybody isn't wrong or evil or out to get you. It's not a sinister plot. Just sometimes people could be having an off day. People could be going through their own personal struggles. People could be going through situations that you're not aware of, but you're expecting them to respond to you the way you need them to respond. That's putting a lot of weight and a lot of responsibility on someone else. Be careful to have valid expectations. It will help you avoid being disappointed and going through these disappointing situations. I know this may not be the Fire and Brimstone, podcast, but it's still valid. And it's still something to help you get through life, help you maneuver, through those unexpected little glitches that can come. So let's work on having valid expectations, being mindful not to put the weight on the person, but let's look at ourselves and how we're judging things, or how we're looking at things, or our perspective, and see if it can't use some tweaking so we can have less disappointment, because I can't promise you that you'll never be disappointed, because that's just not life. I just wanted again to stop by to just give you some words of encouragement today. I pray this blesses you, and I pray you have a really wonderful time this week, and that you do something different, and that you experience life a little bit fuller. You guys be blessed, and I'll see you next time on Life According to Dana. Be blessed.